Welcome everybody, my name's Tom and today we're going to be looking at social media. Does it do more harm than good? So, what is social media? According to SAFCO 2010, social media necessarily doesn't have a set definition. However, it can be broken down into two parts. So the social side and the media side. The social side is more of an interaction between people, whereas media is more of the gateway for people to interact. Moreover, concepts such as moral values can be defined as individual characteristics that distinguish between the good and the evil, whereas ethics is more of a moral principle which prompts an individual to take a certain action. The growth of social media worldwide has shaped the way that individuals and businesses operate. Development of apps such as Instagram, Facebook, Messenger, WhatsApp has really changed the way we live and become household words. Moreover, advancements in technology universally has accelerated the use of social media to the point where 11 million internet users both use Facebook and YouTube in Australia. Although this benefits numerous businesses and individuals, the growth of social media has negative effects. Moreover, ethical issues such as reduced privacy, purpose of viewing social media, stability of relationships, and the judgment of individual characters are ongoing issues fostered by the growth of social media nationally. So now we're going to take a look at moral values and the importance of social media. Moral values actually underpin the thoughts, feelings, and actions of individuals. Individual values such as privacy of others, self-confidence, judgment, and respect are all affected by social media. Individuals have the option to comment on posts and reply to messages. In here, they're free to express their thoughts, which can be both positive and negative, leading to a bit of an ethical dilemma. The relationship between social media and morals are often detrimental. The freedom of not being limited to whatever you say online gives people little inklings to send nasty comments and messages to other people. For example, an individual may be on Facebook and see a photo of his ex-partner. Although he morally doesn't need to comment or do anything about it, out of pure attention and instinct and the freedom to say whatever he wants, he comments on her appearance. Therefore, this affects her mental perception of herself. The obvious importance of social media is the development of the way the world works. Access to online information has never been so easy. It's now just a touch of a button. However, I'll pose the question that does the importance of social media really outweigh the existing moral values of individuals and the ethical issues that come with it? So now we're going to look at the history of social media and the law. A two-way network was created, prompted by the invention of the World Wide Web in 1991, when Tim Berners-Lee connected hypertext and the internet. Through this new service available to users, new connections and unlimited possibilities were established. It was a new way of educating, communicating, and interacting with other people. The launch of Web 2.0 was a real catalyst with a desire for connectedness. Social media was figuratively the light at the end of the tunnel for most. It allowed people to organise their lives and communicate and integrate with other communities. In Australia and worldwide, there is no laws directly linked to social media use. Freedom of speech of individuals is permitted worldwide, where what people say online isn't limited to by law or constitution. However, in Australia, laws and policies preventing online harassment, cyberbullying, and potential violence claims actually reduce the growth of ethical issues. For example, the Human Rights Movement Discrimination Act in 1986, the Racial Discrimination Act of 1975, and the Sexual Discrimination Act of 1984 are all applicable to extreme cases of social media, online, and abuse of any individuals, which actually gives some clarity to individuals in reducing the ethical issues that are present. Another important point is minimising privacy issues. This can be done through Australia's Privacy Act of 1988 and will reduce and protect individual security. Similarly to Australia, foreign countries such as the US have the Fourth Amendment, related searches and seizures issues. This can be upheld in the court of law for any cases involving social media harassment or privacy policies. This is the first social media program available to users. It was called 6 Degrees, launched in 1977 and over 6 million users. Look at the positive effects of social media on religions. Various religious groups communicate through a range of social media sources. It's a way of connecting with individuals with similar beliefs all across the globe. A prime example is Facebook groups, who build communities and pages for people of Catholic, Islamic, and Muslim religions to connect and unite with one another. Additionally, the exploitation of social media throughout religious and cultural groups has sparked various movements, whereby individuals wanting to learn about religious practices can be taught in a safe way online. This increasing number of synagogue and religions have found it much easier to connect and increase faith through social media, simultaneously providing wisdom daily for individuals. The growth of social media has meant the growth of religions, furthermore alluding that it does more good than harm to religions. Now we're going to look at some ethical theory. It's a consequentialist theory, driven by scientific notions and the happiness/well-being of individuals. Utilitarianism is determined by the amount of benefit or detriment there is as a result of the action. The theory can apply to be both good and bad of social media, as it encourages people to think about the consequence before they actually do something. An example may be a person posting a funny photo on Instagram. In this case, utilitarianism would be a morally correct decision, as the post is meant to create humour and a positive interaction between people. Conversely, a person who comments on the appearance of someone would be unethical, as the consequences of that could lead to the individual having low self-confidence, mental issues, and insecurities. Utilitarianism can be applied to both the positive and negative aspects of social media. It is an umbrella for the thoughts of people prior to posting or commenting on social media. Although it can't be controlled, it's important that people make ethical decisions to reduce the consequences of others' mental health. Theory of ethical relativism. This theory in social media is consistently demonstrated throughout posts and comments. Relativism is the theory by which individuals and society determine what is morally right and wrong. For example, what one person may think is okay to say or do, another individual may see as a nasty comment online, further sparking conflict. Ethical relativism is usually shaped by the individual's upbringing and environment, where they can distinguish between what is right and wrong. The ethical issue with relativism on social media is that social norms regarding privacy, language, and actions can often be portrayed in the same way. However, individuals always don't see eye to eye. Therefore, it can prompt unwanted conflict between people. Contrastly, however, relativism can actually benefit individuals through social media. For example, people posting about problems they may have or DIY hacks on tasks can actually bring people together from a sense of connectedness. Through similar interests and problems, it can create almost two-way laughter, understanding, and unique, as if to say, I know how you feel. Therefore, ethical relativism can be both beneficial and detrimental by creating conflict or forming connectedness between people. The final theory is ethical egoism. Ethical egoism relates to the promotion of an individual at the expense of the moral obligation. People who make an ethical egoistic choice on social media tend to weigh up the options before taking action, in order to gain the most benefit for themselves. As per the photo, it's always we act in our own self-interest. This is a positive aspect of individuals, as they aim to improve their own self-confidence and dignity by feeling appreciated with likes, comments, and interactions. However, there is a small window of detriment for ethical egoism, as people often improve their own self-confidence and personal profile at the expense of others. This creates negative environments for all. I just want you to have a think about how often you use social media. Do you feel you benefit from it, or do you feel as though it hinders you? You're probably thinking you have nothing good or bad to say about it, although it is a distraction. The growth of social media has been beneficial in advancing technology, growing business, and promoting individuals, and developing self-confidence for people. All these factors allow the world to run by a touch of a button, where the latest trends and news are on show consistently. Social media is so positive in bringing religions and cultures together, while also forming a sense of connectedness in communities. However, I personally think social media does more harm than good. The ethical issues associated are to a great extent controlling people's feelings and actions. An opportunity for someone to send a hurtful message or response towards someone else shouldn't be permitted. The growth of users across all platforms will mean that ethical issues such as respect, judgment, and self-confidence are all being disregarded, as the access to individual privacy on social media is available to anyone. Finding a middle ground between the amount of social media is difficult. Businesses want to succeed, and people want to feel connected without worrying about these ethical issues. The unfortunate nature of social media is that not everyone can have what they want. A compromise, maybe finding a middle ground between the amount of social media available, will be restricting the amount of time users are allowed to use the apps for, reducing the amount of apps available, or even censoring posts and comments to reduce the amount of conflict between people. This way, social media is still readily available for businesses and those who enjoy using it, however, helps prevent some of these ethical issues. That's all we have for today. Thanks very much for listening.